All right, guys, so you all have your first CBA of the year tomorrow. So I hope you've already answered all of the questions on your study guide on your own, and you're watching this video just to check your answers. All right, so number one, we have a positive multiplied by a negative, which will give us a negative number. On the second one, we're combining two basically negative numbers because we're going to change this to a a plus sign, and then change the sign of the second number. So really what we're doing is we're adding two negative numbers. I'm going to line those decimals up. So 3 plus 7 is 10. 6 plus 5 is 12. Bring down the decimal. So number 2, the answer is negative 12. Number 3, we're dividing two negative numbers, which means we will get a positive answer. So I know 8 will go into 18 two times with 2 left over. So the answer is positive 23. And then number 4, we have a positive multiplied by a negative. They're fractions. We're multiplying straight across. So we know our answer is negative. So 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times 4 is 8. And we can leave it in that form right there. All right, number 5, we're going to do order of operations. So the first thing we're going to do is subtract 34 minus 46, or in other words, negative 46 combined with a positive 34. We subtract and we get a negative 12, and then we multiply negative 12 by 3.4. So we know our answer is negative. So 2 times 4 is 8, 4 times 1, 3 times 2, and we get, with not one number behind the decimal, so the answer is B, negative 40.8. Of course, you can put that in your calculator as well. If you do, make sure you put those parentheses exactly like you see them in the problem. All right, number 6, the additive inverse. In other words, what would I combine 23 with to get 0? Well, the answer is negative 23. The additive inverse of 23 is negative 23. Number 7. Let me pull this up a little bit. All right, given negative 12 minus the negative 4. So remember, we will change the minus to a plus and change the negative 4 to positive. So basically, negative 12 minus negative 4 is the same thing as negative 12 plus 4. Negative 12 plus 4 is the right answer. And for some weird reason, this also says, that must be a mistake. It must have been a typo, but letter E is equivalent to what we started with. So there's two answers, actually. All right, number 8, Joseph needs to express 3/4 as a negative. Where should he place the negative sign? Well, if I put the negative in the numerator, that represents a negative number. If I put the negative sign in the denominator, that's also a negative number. Or I could put it in front of the fraction bar. So all of these are correct. The height of the gym ceiling is 12 3/8. All right, so we're going to ignore our whole number of 12. We're just looking at 3/8. So we're going to divide 3 by 8. Top dog in the house. We're going to bring up our decimal. 8 goes into 30 3 times. I subtract and get a 6. Bring down a 0. 8 will go into 60 7 times. 7 times 8 is 56. And then when I subtract, I get 4. I'm going to bring down one more 0, and 8 will go into 40 5 times. So which of the following flagpoles would fit under the ceiling? Well, it has to be less than 12.375. This one's too big. This one's too big. This one's too big, but letter A is going to fit. So that is our answer. All right, number 10. Andy will be computing the answer to the expression. All right, so let's see how many negative signs we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is an odd number, which means the answer would be negative, right? The answer will be negative because there is an odd number of negatives, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. That's right. Number 11, determine if each situation will result in a positive, negative, or zero solution. If Sarah has $55 and then she takes out $50, that means she still has a positive $5 in her account. Edward threw for a 5-yard gain on the first play of the game, but then he lost 10 yards. Uh-oh, he's negative 5 yards. He's lost 5 yards. The temperature on a winter day starts out at 4 degrees above zero, but it drops 8 degrees. So it's going to be colder than what it started. So that's going to be a negative. John has saved $100, but then he decides to purchase a pair of shoes that cost $100. So how much money does he have left? He has nothing left. All right, number 12. Number 12, determine whether each statement shows an example of a zero pair. All right, so at the beginning of the school year, I was 1/2 inch shorter than my sister. And 1 month, I gained or I grew 0.5 inches. That's the same thing, isn't it? So if I was 1/2 an inch shorter, but then I grew 1/2 an inch, I would say, yes, that's a zero pair. Or compared to the sister's height, I would say yes. It's not the best math example I've ever heard of, but I would say yes on that one. All right, we need 1 1/3 cups of sugar to make cookies. We have 4/3. So what is 4/3? 4/3 is 1 1/3. So we need this much. We have this much. That means, yes, that's a zero pair. We're going to use all of it. The temperature was 4 degrees below zero, and then the temperature decreased another 4 degrees. Is that zero? No, that would be -8. I owe my mom $20. After washing my car, my mom took away the $20 debt. She canceled the debt. So it's just like her mom paying her $20. So yes, her debt has been paid. That is a zero pair. All right, moving on. Number 13, Patrick is saving money to buy video games that cost $68. Patrick thinks he will have enough money in 10 weeks. He receives $6 at the end of every week for doing chores at home. He spends $2.50 every week and saves the rest. Do I agree that it will take Patrick 10 full weeks to save enough money? All right, so he wants $68, right? He gets $6 every week for 10 weeks. So he gets $6 every week for 10 weeks. But he spends $2.50 every week for 10 weeks. So he earns $60, but he loses $25. So he does not have $68 at the end of the 10 weeks. He only has $35 because, anyway, that's supposed to be a price mark. I do not agree that Patrick has enough money saved at the end of 10 weeks. He only has $35. Okie dokie. All right, number 14. Juan and Kim are playing a game. Juan's score and Kara, even though her name was Kim, now it's changed to Kara. Kara's score after the first round are shown on the number line. So Juan is at -5 and Kara is at 7. At the end of the first round, the score is 2. What does the score of 2 represent? So let's see. The difference between Juan's score and Kim's score. So the difference between -5 and -7 is not 2. It's actually -12. So A is not correct. The sum of the absolute value of Juan's score and the absolute value of Kim's score. Once again, that's not correct. The absolute value of -5 is 5, plus the absolute value of 7 is 7. So that does not equal 2. That equals +12. That's on it. The sum of Juan's score and Kim's score. Well, if we find the sum of -5 and 7, That is exactly 2. So I believe C is the correct answer, but let's look at D just in case. The absolute value of the difference of their scores. Nope. The absolute value of one score would be +5. And the difference between that and the absolute value of 7 is going to be -2. Because 5 minus 7 is -2. So C is the correct answer. I hope you guys are getting them all right. All right, number 15, Mount Kilimanjaro is 19,341 feet above sea level. The Sea of Galilee is 646 feet below sea level. Illustrate, let's see, illustrate on your answer document and okay, so I get to draw a picture, everybody. You're going to see why I am not the art teacher. There's Kilimanjaro. This is ground level. And down here is the Sea of Galilee. It's below sea level. Here I am on top of the mountain. This is 19,341 feet above sea level. My friend floating at the bottom of the Sea of Galilee, that's sad. It's alarming actually. Is 646 feet below sea level. So how far apart is the person on the mountain and the person at the bottom of the Sea of Galilee? Well, if I walk down the mountain, I would have to ground level, I would have to walk down 19,341 feet. To get to my friend, I would have to go down another 646 feet. So how far apart are they? We're actually going to add. We're going to add those numbers together. Nice. So I got 19,987 feet. What did you guys get? I hope you agree with me. All right, letter B. Write a numerical expression and calculate the difference in feet. Oh, well, that's pretty much what we did. So we're going to find the absolute value. So we're going to write our above sea level elevation. We want to know the difference, which means in math, subtraction. However, below sea level is going to be represented by a negative number. So this is our numerical expression right here, guys. 19,341 minus negative 646 feet. Okay. And then it says, explain how your diagram supports your numerical expression. Well, basically, that's what I would say. So between ground level and the top of the mountain is 19,341 feet. The difference between ground level and the bottom of the sea is 646 feet. And so my diagram illustrates this mathematical, numerical expression for a total of 19,987 feet apart. All right, one more and we are done. Sophia's bank account is $400. She makes 5 withdrawals of $45 each. She also made a purchase of $186. Then she deposited her paycheck. Model these transactions and explain how her account changed from the beginning balance to the ending. So we start with $400. She withdraws. That means she takes out 5 withdrawals of $45 each. So I'm going to multiply 45 times 5. She made a purchase. That means she took away from her total $186. And then at the end, she actually deposits, she adds her paycheck of $350. So that is a model of her transactions. And so we can just put that right into our calculator. So 400 minus, we're going to do 45 times 5. If you key it in right, your calculator will do the order of operation for you. And then finally, we're adding $350. So I'm showing her final balance is $339. All right, guys. So your test is tomorrow. I make mistakes all the time. So if you notice that I made an error in these answers, please let me know. And we can fuss about it. I'll either say, no, I'm right because, or I can say, oh, actually, you're right because. All righty. All right, you guys have a great day, and I will see you all tomorrow.